Welcome to TeagleTalks Heart and Hustle, where passion meets purpose and we turn big dreams into bold moves. I'm your host, Sarah Teagle, business consultant and owner of Teagle Consulting, public speaker, and author of The Sisterhood of Success, The Heart and Hustle of Women Entrepreneurs. If you're ready to level up your business without losing yourself in the process, you're in the right spot. Let's get started. Today, I want to welcome Kalina Perez. She is the publisher and founder of Russellville Connections, and we have an amazing, fun game that we're going to play. We're going to sip on our coffee, and we are going to have a Q&A.
Well, I'm Kalina Perez, founder and publisher of the Russellville Connection magazine. I've been in Russellville for 2.5 years now, relocated from California, and I've really enjoyed integrating into this community.
And I remember when we first met, we were talking about marketing and advertising. We met at Starbucks, so coincidentally, we're having coffee talk now. But we both relocated, so that's something that we have in common. Both moms, both business owners. Some of the questions that you guys will hear today are about relocating, motherhood, business, connections, networking, and just overall just having some fun with conversation. Ooh, is there a mantra, habit, or mindset shift that has helped you keep perspective during tough times?
Just focusing on progress over perfection. I don't have to have it all figured out, right?
That's a good one. Yeah. Because I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I want to have it all figured out. I think mine would be, one of my mantras though, would be if they wanted to, they would. And the reason I say that is like anybody in life, if they wanted to be around you, they would. If they wanted to do business with you, they would. If they, you know what I mean? Like in friendships and whatever, like the effort that you're putting out is, or, the effort that you give is the effort you want to receive or be reciprocated. So I think that's one. I think, one of the other ones I think I would say is that I sometimes fall short when I expect me from other people. Like how I show love or how I show respect or anything like that isn't how anybody else does.
Letting go of control and just having faith.
Yeah,
that
that's a good one.
Everything's going to work out. Let it all work out. I just have to remind myself of that.
And like everything happens for a reason.
That's what I was just going to say. You took the words right from me.
Because even if we want it to happen, doesn't mean it should be happening. Even though we want it to.
Remembering that helps me so much.
Yes.
What's one failure or misstep you've had that taught you something essential?
I think my biggest, for me, it was a failure, right? Is that the first time I got laid off from a company, it wasn't my fault, right? The company closed, but I felt like, man, could I have done something different? Could I have showed up different? And I did everything that I could. But I think for me, I was like, man, what am I going to do now? And that was the first time in my entire life that I had ever been let go from a company. Now, I also had to let go 500 people after I'd been, hey,
that's rough.
Closing as of right now. And so I had to turn around and, let everybody else know that. But I would say, that would be a failure. To me, I felt that way. Looking back, it wasn't, but I, never, it kind of gives you the ick, right? You're like, man, what am I going to do now? And I didn't have a backup plan. What's one thing you would say? And I'll see if I can think of something else.
I'm sitting here racking my brain. My mind probably goes to relationships.
Yeah. Let's talk about it.
I've had a failed long-term relationship with my kids first, their father. And then a 7-year marriage ended in divorce. And so I think I learned a lot from that, of what I want and need in a partner, and learned a lot about myself too. And
I could say that too, is I think anytime you go through a divorce, no matter what, you're always like, what the heck? You never plan for that, obviously. Or I had to just realize let people show up how they really want to show up. Not me trying to control somebody of how they show up, not me projecting what I want on them. Let them show up how they want to. And then I can determine if that's what I want in my life or not. And then I make that decision, kind of like how Mel Robbins, the Let Them book, let them and
Mhm.
then let me when I read that, that's what I thought about because I've
I
read that
haven't
book.
read that yet.
You should
I
read
need
it.
to. I just listened to my first Mel Robbins
I love
podcast,
her.
like, last week,
Yep,
actually.
love her.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should definitely read that book because it is where I just wanna show up authentically. I want to be around people that let me be me,
Mhm.
right? Where I don't have to censor myself, I don't have to feel awkward. If I can't show up as me, I don't really wanna be around them.
Yeah.
You know
It's
what I
funny you
mean?
said I've been thinking about that lately. I've noticed, like, in my past, you show up and you meet somebody and you try to put on this, like, front or
You
try to
meet the
act a
you
certain
meet the
way.
representative.
Yeah. And what I've learned is you gotta just show up and be your authentic self from the jump because it's gonna come out eventually.
Yeah.
So you might as well just start with it.
That's true, though.
Yeah.
It is gonna come out
Yep.
eventually. Sometimes that's really who they are, and you really are who you are, and then it just works. How do you show up fully for both you and your team and or family without losing yourself in the process? Phew,
Ooh,
that's a good one.
that's a good one. That's a tough one. Without losing yourself in the process. You have to make time for yourself. I've had to learn this as being a really young mom. Like, I knew how important self-care was and time for yourself was, but I had that mom guilt. Like, I felt like if I took any of
Mm,
that time, I was taking away from them. When in
yes.
fact, not taking that can actually harm them and your relationships and your situation. Like, you have to carve out the time. So I think making time for yourself and, setting boundaries is really important.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah, because if we're not okay, nothing else
Listen,
is gonna be okay.
if I'm not happy and I'm like a bear cat, my kids,
Yeah.
they're like bear cats.
Yep.
Like they mimic what they see. And so if I'm going through a season where it's like, man, it's just like a season of struggle, then I see them struggle, then I'm like, I got to pull myself out of this.
Mhm.
But how do you do that without losing ourselves? I did a previous episode where I talk about mom guilt. And then I also talk about doing things that not losing yourself in the process of life. Because as moms, we can lose ourselves. We do everything for everybody.
Yep.
And then on top of that, if we're business owners, you're in the business of working with people, networking, doing things for other people, gaining business. Then you go home and it's the same thing. You're doing things for everybody else.
Mhm.
It is super important, but I like that. Like taking time, even if it's a walk or going to the gym
Yeah,
or
super
going
small,
for
just
lunch with
something,
somebody. Yep.
something, giving yourself a breather.
Yep. Yep. I'd prefer a massage or a day at the spa.
That's long overdue, actually.
Right? Well, that's what I'd prefer.
Do you ever feel like one area of your life is winning while another is losing? And
Mm.
how do you deal with that tension? I feel that
Ooh.
all the time.
I'm same.
Business is booming, doing great.
Mhm.
Go home, laundry's in piles.
Yep. Yep.
Nobody's
Like
getting
you're
home cooked meals. It's takeout.
right.
Or, your house is super clean. Laundry's all done. Everybody's eating home cooked meals and
Your business is
your
not.
business is,
You know what though? You're the first person I've talked to where they said that same thing. Cuz I've thought that or I've even said to some of my friends, it feels if I'm doing really good in business, my relationships are in the trash.
Mhm. I was gonna say, house, like, that's the one thing I noticed, like, going home, it's like, oh my gosh, but
Yeah.
relationships too.
Yeah. My personal relationships are like, eh.
They're suffering. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say like even laundry, I try to have a routine of structure for laundry, meal prepping or
Yeah. And that's it. I'm not huge on like creating, time blocks for everything. I just kind of wing it. So very
yeah.
off balance. Trying to
Yeah.
trying to find that balance can be
But
difficult. And when I find it, it's pretty short-lived, right?
yep,
Maintaining that balance is really, really hard.
that is true. How has becoming a mom changed the way you lead, whether at home, at work, or in your community? I feel like we've been moms for a long time.
I was gonna say, me personally, I've been a mom since I was 17. So I would say that being a mom trained me and prepped me to be in leadership.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah. I mean, when you're 23 and you have 4 kids running around the house and you've got special needs to manage and all of the things.
Listen, I'm just going to say out loud, I can't imagine having, you said 4 kids at
I have 4
23?
kids by 23, yes. With
I
they
don't,
all have special needs at that, so it was a lot to manage.
I can definitely see you have to be organized, you have to
Mhm.
be
Yep,
multitasking. See, I had my first kid at 28. So I was already working my way up in leadership. So, let's see,
total of 6 kids that I've raised at age 42. Not a common
hats
situation
off.
by
Hats off
any
to
means,
you.
but yeah, I feel like that definitely prepped me. I mean, I didn't even get into running my own business until right before I turned 40, 37.
But I've read that most people that are business owners don't become business owners until they're 40 or above.
Mhm.
And then I started thinking too, which I've thought through some of this, is because I have, a 13-year-old and a 5-year-old, and you go through seasons. And I've kind of realized parenting seasons. And so, and they're struggling with their own issues, if that's mental health, if that's, they're just like really hard on themselves, if they're an overachiever, whatever it is, right? So you have to be there for them, be there for them for that. But if I think through, I look at young moms, I don't think I was not mentally prepared at 23. I mean, nobody's mentally prepared when they
Listen, I
have
don't think
kids.
I
So
was
I
either,
guess
but
that's true.
what's
Yeah.
crazy, I look my oldest is 24 now, and I look at him and I go, "Wow,
You did
at
that,
your
girl.
age, like, I had all of you." Like, it's crazy.
But that's a testament to you had kids young. It could have deterred you into wherever life took you, but you have probably overcome so many things. And then you've, on top of that, become a business owner. And on top of that, you're still raising kids and, living life and trying to prioritize yourself and all these things.
Mhm.
So those are accomplishments that we don't even acknowledge as women. You know what I mean? Like,
That's
we
true.
just do what we got to do, and men do the same thing. That's a lot.
Mhm.
So kudos to you, because
Thank you.
couldn't have been me. But all right.
You know why I'm so gray now. That explains it.
Like, I've been through a lot. What is something you're still learning about yourself as a mom or as a leader? I would say something that I'm still learning about myself as a mom would be patience.
Yeah, I
So
can agree with that.
I can go 0 to 100 real quick. If anybody knows me, no, they probably would believe that. I'm very quiet. Like if I'm out in the community, people probably feel like I'm very quiet, which I am until you start talking to me and get to know me, and then I probably don't shut up. But my patience is very thin, just because I always have a million things going on in my brain. So sometimes I've found, like when my 5-year-old, he's a talker. And so I'll be like, can you just give me a moment of silence? Because
Mhm.
everything else up here is going, but he doesn't know that. You know what I mean? He gets in the car and he's telling me all about his day. And I've just like been in 15 meetings and I'm like, oh my gosh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're like, I just need a moment. So I would say for me, I'm learning how to be patient and give myself grace as a mom, but also not, I would say too, to add to that, is not expecting perfection out of my kids because they're humans. One thing my brother said to me one time that I continue to tell myself when I get frustrated, he had to remind himself that of whatever age his kids are, they've only been on the planet for 6 years. They've only been on the planet for 13 years. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Like what's common sense to us was not common sense at 13 or 5 or whatever. But I would say what I'm still learning about myself as a leader is that not everybody shows up the way that I'm going to show up to lead people. I come with a lot. I'm intense. If I'm in business and I'm working with somebody, intense meaning I'm very grounded in who I am as a leader. I'm very driven, very motivated. I'm very like matter of fact, take action. Like, hey, let's get it done. And I used to think that was you try to tone it down or you try to, just show up differently if you think it's going to be perceived. But then I just like, I have to be me. So I think that's what I'm learning is I'm just showing up authentically as me, and whoever is going to be in that circle with me is going to be. And whoever's not, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. May not be in the in crowd.
As a mom, I think, gosh, we learn so much about ourselves every day, I feel like. But I
That's
think
true.
that consistency is key.
That's a good
We're
one.
not going to show up perfect every day.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But as long as we're showing up, I think that's what matters. That it's okay. Perfection, right? I think as moms,
Mm-hmm.
we set a really, really high standard for ourselves. And when we
Yeah,
don't hit that bar, we beat ourselves up.
yeah.
We're human too. And we didn't get handed a manual to deal with all of the things, especially I'm learning when your kids enter adulthood.
Is that like
You
a
still,
totally different beast? Because
it is.
like I'm ready.
It is. You're
I'm
not ready.
ready. I'm ready. I'm like, you know what? Can we
You're
just
not
like get
ready.
to the point where, I just get some, I
Just
want
all
to
the
go,
worries that you have about them when they're younger,
mm,
they just shift to whole different worries, and they're bigger worries, like things like that, like when they take off.
mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, are they going to get in an accident? You know,
Right.
are they going to pick the right partner? What's their relationship going to be like? Are they going to be a good partner or provider? I mean, you just
Yeah,
have different worries.
could
But
see
I
that.
think the main thing is just learning that it's okay.
Everybody has to make their own mistakes.
Hmm.
They're gonna make mistakes. Like just we made mistakes, but we overcame them. They're gonna go through experiences that suck. And
It's hard. It's hard to watch
yes.
your kids go
Yeah.
through those things. But I have to agree with you on the patience part.
Are you
I've learned a lot of patience. In fact, I have my older kids tell me, like, they'll be around and I'm with my bonus babies, right? And I'll get a look. It's like, you would not have let that fly. That's for
after the
sure.
first one? I mean, I only have two, so I can only do the context of two. But after the first one, like, I can look back and I was a drill sergeant. Even my
Yes.
family will be like, just let him be a kid. I'm like, no, he needs to listen to everything I'm saying.
And that's what I'm talking about. My
you
kids
know?
are like example. If one of my older kids was having a rough morning, it's like, drill sergeant, get them socks and shoes on, get that backpack, and meet me at the door. We're going
Right.
now. Like, no BS.
Yeah.
Now, oh, I'm having a hard time. Do you want to take a mental health day? Let me call you out. Done.
See, that's where that's a good example.
I'm learning, like,
It's not that serious.
it's not that
Not that
serious. Like
serious.
those little things, they're not that serious.
Yeah, that's a good example though, because I'll joke with my oldest, like, listen, you wore me down. You wore me down. So when the second one showed up, I'm just like, whatever.
Yep.
Like,
That happens. Kids call
or
me out on that all the time.
yeah, or he'll be like, you would have never let me do that. I was like, you know what? Listen, I just don't have the time. I don't have the brain capacity to argue with you and try to get this done. So let's just say it's okay.
Yeah.
Like
I'm
let's
learning
go.
what's okay to let go.
Or the one thing too is like, I'll see him try to enforce a rule and then I'll look at him and be like, who are you? Like, first of all, it's fine.
Yeah.
It is not that serious. But he'll because I've held him to a higher standard, then he'll be like, well, you would have said blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, I was wrong. Sorry. Like, it's not that big of a deal. It's fine. He'll be fine. You'll be fine. Everybody will be fine. Run in to get shoes and get this and do it at the same time. And I'm like, I just don't have the brain capacity to care that you misplaced your stuffy and you're having a meltdown, So like, it'll be fine. Here's 5 more that I found in your room before we got in the car. Like, that's a good one.
I would like to add to, I think, going into adulthood, like learning that fine line between helping and enabling too.
That's a good one because I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good one too, is like, because you do see like, you do see grown-ups being enabled by their parents still. And I'm like, what the
I have to
heck?
catch myself sometime. I'm like, no. I need to step back right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or like when we're talking about like being in relationships, like when I look at that, I don't want to be the mom of a man that enables him because that is annoying.
Yes.
And so I'll be like, there's a fine line. But in this instance, if I'm, looking back, I'm like, I was never enabled by my parents. Like, I moved out at 17, moved to another state, like just like, and I think back like, what were my parents thinking? But I also think back like they couldn't have stopped me anyways because I'm out. I'm going to go do what I want to do. I was more of like that free spirit. I'm going to go travel. I'm going to, I traveled after I graduated high school. I traveled for like 2 years, like living in different states before I settled into where I stayed for like 13 years and then
Just
moved around
like
for corporate.
roaming around the US.
Yeah. Who does that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, okay. But
Was there a moment when you questioned the decision to move and what helped you through it?
how many
I
times
can
have you moved? Born and raised in
born and
California?
raised in California.
Okay.
So born and raised in Los Angeles area.
Okay.
When I was 21, I had the 3 kids at the time. We packed up and we went up to the Bay Area, so Northern
Okay.
California,
Okay.
about an hour north of San Francisco. Stayed there until I came here. So that
Okay.
move, that was a big deal.
Yeah.
And that was hard, but this one was definitely.
I
There a
see that.
moment when I questioned it? Oh gosh, yes.
I'm sure.
Yes. So at first, we got here and everything was exciting. Everything
Mm-hmm.
was new, fun, exciting. I'd say that lasted probably a month. Reality kicked in.
Yeah.
And then, yes, I found myself like in the morning before I would even open my eyes, I just have like this feeling in my stomach, anxiety to open
Mm-hmm.
my eyes and be like, oh my gosh, what have I done?
Yeah.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, there was time I would just jump in the car, start driving. So if anybody saw a crazy lady driving around Russellville crying in her car, that was me.
Hey, I do that
Uh,
sometimes. Like, just
maybe
don't honk at me if you see me crying at a stoplight.
I'm crying, maybe even like screaming at the top of my lungs because I didn't want to do it at the house, but just
Yeah.
going and parking somewhere. So yes, I did because everything, there's nothing is familiar.
Yeah.
Your home, your community. I mean, even driving around, like the restaurants, the gas stations, like
Even making friends as an adult, like,
hard.
it's rough.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I've been here 6 or 7 years now, and I wouldn't say that I have like a very strong group of friends because either I'm so busy that I don't get to connect,
Hmm.
or it's like you think you've met some friend groups and then you're like, nope.
Or naturally, it just not even intentionally do we stop hanging out with certain people that we meet. It
Right.
just it's
I mean, people
business,
get
life,
busy.
and
Yep.
they're busy too. So
Yeah.
that's always been a struggle. But
Yep.
I questioned it quite a bit. But what helped me through is just remembering why we did it. Um, just keeping my eyes on the prize and
Yeah.
and what we came here for.
Yeah.
That definitely helped.
I would say for me, relocating here, I relocated like 4 times in a span of like 6 years. So I've lived in Florida twice, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. Well, I mean, a lot of it was for corporate, right? So I was like, hey, wherever you tell me to go, I'm going to go. I'm trying to, work my way up the corporate ladder, and I did all that. And I was just like, I mean, I don't have any ties to where I was at, so I'll go wherever y'all want me to go, do whatever y'all want me to do. But I would say probably moving here was the roughest because I didn't have any family. I didn't know anybody. I'd never been here. I mean, I think I came here for a week or maybe a couple days before then we relocated fully.
That's what
Um,
I did. We came and spent 5 days here.
yep. And then I had 30 days to find a house. They put you up somewhere, you have 30 days to find a house, you buy a house, you move in, you fly back, go get all your, be there to evaluate all your stuff, bring it here, and then boom. Um, but I would say for me, I felt like at first it was really nice because it was slower. It was a slower pace.
Hmm.
So I felt like, whew, I can breathe. It's not a big city. People are friendly.
It's very helpful because
Yes.
coming from LA and like San Francisco area to here, I felt
Yes.
like I was in the middle of nowhere,
Yep.
pacing the slower pace, and that's what I wanted. But when reality kicks in, and it's a big adjustment, huge culture shock for sure.
Yes. Yeah. I moved here from Orlando, like big city. I used to drive an hour to work just to and from, so that's 2 hours of your day you get back.
Mhm.
Literally, the most exciting thing for me when I moved here was that my work was like 3
5
minutes,
minutes.
3 to
Yeah.
5. And I was like, what?
Yep.
Like, I literally don't have to leave an hour early. I'm sold.
To get anywhere you want to go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And so that was one of the highlights for me. But also, I got to spend more time with my kids. At that point, I just had my oldest, but I got to spend more time with him. I felt like more plugged in to his school, to, everything that was happening. I didn't have to work excessive hours, like all of those things. So the trade off for me was worth it. And then as I've been here longer and longer, I kind of just like, I still don't have family here. I don't, it's kind of, you're like, Okay, but my kids love it. Well, and I find too that even my oldest, he's lived in 3 different states. This is his 3rd state. And he goes through phases where he'll be like, "I just wanna get out of here." And I feel like because I move so much, it's kind of like the army
Mhm. It's
military.
time to go now. We've
Time to
been here
go.
for a while.
Yep,
Yeah.
let's go. It's time to go.
On to the next place.
Yep. And so I feel like I've instilled that, and I'm the same way, like, I kinda get a little itchy of like, "It's
I
time to
think we
go."
all do. I'm over
Moving
the regret.
sounds
Yeah.
horrible.
I've grown to love where I'm at. I really do
Yes.
love it here.
Yeah.
But even then, I still, from time to time, get a little homesick or
Yeah.
go, gosh,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I would say since I moved here to now, things have grown. The community is growing, the community is, open, and I feel like meeting like-minded people more and more. Having some of these conversations that I have in podcasts too, I start to realize, like, I'm not the only one that feels that way, or I'm not the only mom that has mom guilt,
Doesn't help to know that we're
or
not alone. Just to know.
yes, just to know that you're not
Yep.
alone. Other people are going through the same things, even though I think as moms, we're really good at not showing our cards of crying in the car at a stoplight, right? Like,
Yeah.
when that happens, I'm like, I have to be the only one. I've never seen any other mom crying at a stoplight. If you ever see me driving and I have sunglasses on, I've probably been crying because I'm like, I just don't want anyone to see my eyes.
I cry in the car all the time.
Do
You're
you
not
really? That's
alone.
my favorite
Yeah.
place to cry, where nobody can see me. What role does your friendship play or friendships play in keeping each other grounded and motivated? That's a good one.
Feel like busy moms, business owners, friendships are hard. Like we just touched on that. I've got my best friend that's still in LA and we talk almost every day. You make acquaintances and friends, but like building a real true connection is hard
It's
because we
hard.
get so wrapped up in everything else. But I think just having, you don't have to have a huge circle, just having one or a few,
Yep.
just having someone to talk to.
Yeah, I get really wrapped up in my life and my kids, and they're in extracurricular activities and building businesses,
It's like
and I'm like,
where is our
"Well,
friend time?
I'm momming from this time to this time. I'm a business owner from this time to this time. I'm working out and trying to train for a marathon and this time to this time." Like, and then I'm like, and then I'm out because I'm falling asleep. I try to wear myself out all day. I also talk all day, like in meetings, and I'm having to present or I'm having to lead people all day. So when I am by myself, that silence is like,
You need it.
yeah. So it's like all day, I have to be an extrovert. So when I get time to just breathe, I just don't want, like, jumping on the phone with somebody is not the first thing. Like, I want to go for a run or I want to go work out and lift weights by myself. Right. So I think it also depends on the season that I'm in. Like, if I'm in a season where I'm, pulled in a million directions, then yeah, I probably let friendships die down. But I stay pretty grounded and motivated. But that's a good thinking question for me. Now I'm going to have to go call my best friend.
Yeah, you better call your best friend. I realized it was like day 5 that we hadn't spoken. I was like, that's unusual.
Hmm.
And then of course I called her and she's like, oh my gosh, this, and this. She
Right.
has 6 kids too. So,
Man.
but I would say I think those just little check-ins on each
Yeah.
other are so
Now I'll
important.
text her and be like, "Hey, I just want you
Yeah,
to know I was thinking about you and I missed you."
exactly. And that little
So
thing
that
goes a
counts
long
then,
way. That
right?
counts.
Okay.
That counts
All right. It's just
100%.
not a phone call.
It doesn't have to be a phone
Because I'm
call.
like, man, I
Just
just
something to let them know
yeah, that's true. Then I do
you're
that.
thinking about me.
Yeah, then I do that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm out of the friendship doghouse.
How did you create a sense of home again for your family and yourself?
I
You said you only
think
had one kid when you moved, right?
yeah. So I think for me, it was decorating, like having the traditions back, decorating his room the way he wanted, and just having my home feel like a home. For me, my home is my sanctuary. I don't invite people over to my house that often, right? As I got older, I realized like this is my only safe place in the world. The only thing that I have full control over is everything that happens in this house. The only comfort that I have, you know what I mean? And so one of the things that I strive to do is have my house be a place that is full of peace. I don't want a lot of arguing. I don't want a lot of drama. I don't want a lot of internal turmoil. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want my house to be a place that is not peaceful and calm. And so my kids, when they're at home, they're very calm and they just chill, they relax. Like, to be honest, my kids are homebodies. I'm a homebody. I could stay home all day and I have everything at my house that would make me happy.
Everything you need.
Yeah. And I think that's how I make myself, like, especially after moving, I just made my house be a place where I love to be. Because I've had places, where I've lived where I'm like,
You don't
it
like to be
was
there.
no. And as I got older, it was very important to me. Like, I want to be at my house. And so if anyone resembles disrupting my peace, then it's a no-go,
Yeah.
And so for somebody to have access to my home or to me at my home or to be around my children, I preserve that. It's a very small circle of people. I just put a lot of emphasis on that. Like, it's a fun place. It's a peaceful place. And it just felt like, okay, I can breathe here. So for me, that would be key.
Yeah.
What about for you?
I would say home is where the heart is, right? No matter where we are, like as long as we're together, that was the most important thing. So for me, it was just keeping everybody close. When we were in California, me, my fiance, 2 stepkids, 3 of my boys still lived with us. 1 had already checked out, but um, we were all together there. And when we came here, the older boys rented their own home. So not only did I move here, but at the same time, the last children, biological children anyways, that had living with me
See,
were no
yeah,
longer. So that was hard for
that
me
was a
too.
big
Even though
change
they're
too.
like a 6 or 7 minute drive away,
Yeah,
they weren't under mama's roof. So it's a big
right.
change. So just keeping everybody together really
Yeah,
helped it feel like home. Just having them, they were coming over like every day,
yeah,
grilling all the time. I do
yes,
have family in town. So my brother, my sister-in-law and 2 nephews, so invite them over for
yeah.
every, game.
And that was probably
Every
fun for you
Sundays.
too, because you got to hang out with them and see them more, and so
Yeah, I
that's
never had my
exciting.
nephews. We didn't
Yeah,
have, family. We did at one point in California, but everybody had, before we moved, kind of moved on to other
mm-hmm.
places. Everybody was spread out. So just keeping everybody together, doing everything together,
Yeah,
going out to the lake and just
that's
that
bonding, that
created that
family
anchor.
time. Yeah,
Unfortunately, one of the kids decided to run back to California. So
yeah.
I don't have that
But he comes to
completeness
visit,
here. He
right?
comes to visit,
Okay.
and
But yeah, it's
when
still
he
not
comes
the
to visit,
same.
it's so special.
Yeah.
When your adult kids come back. I didn't even start that until we were there for a year and a half. Well, there was a lot to process, right? And it's
Well,
like after
true.
we got through processing all those emotions, it's like, okay, now it's time to make the house
Yeah.
a home
See,
and
for
start on that part.
me, because I'm like, man, I got to unpack, I got to work, I was like, just unpack everything and get everything back to normal.
Yeah.
Right. Because I don't like living out of boxes and I'm not good with I'm very routine and I'm very structured. So if anything is outside of that, then it's like, ooh,
Yeah.
I can't do it. So it's like, get in,
Get it
unpack,
done.
decorate, get done. We're living like normal. Everything's back to, normal. And then process. Yeah, because I'm like, I can't process if everything is everywhere. What dreams or goals are you holding space for in the next chapter?
Continue growing my business here
Mm.
in Arkansas. And that's happening right now, Oh gosh. This is one thing I struggle with is setting goals for myself. I mean, like I have a vision, right, of what I want, but
Mm-hmm.
setting hard goals and baby steps that it takes to get there, I've always kind of had a hard time with.
I'm going to need to, I'll grab you one of my books.
I need one of your
It talks
books.
about goal setting.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's actually one of my strengths. So it's like, but it also becomes where I'm so focused that then I don't live in the present.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where some of my opportunity has been. Like, I just am so focused on the future and like planning and just taking action that then I'm like, people are like, just slow down. Like, and you got to enjoy the journey too. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what journey? I don't have time for this. I'm
See,
trying
and
to
I
get to
think
the destination.
that's why, because I've been told a lot, like you worry too much about the future and even dwell too much on the past. I've been really trying to stay in the moment, live
Yeah.
in the moment,
Live in the present.
live in the present.
Yeah.
But goals for the future, yes, just continuing to grow my business and to set that example for my kids. So right now, a goal of mine is to have my kids follow in my footsteps, be entrepreneurs, start their own businesses.
Yep.
So really just to model that for
I love
them. And
that.
yeah.
Yeah, because they're going to learn from us. And I feel like there's a lot that they can learn from us as entrepreneurs that we probably had to learn on our own. And it took us a long time to learn that, or just life experiences, right? So anything, to me, I'm like, anything I can do to help my kids be successful in the future or just be aware of the different opportunities to set them up for success is huge. I would say for me, then what's the next chapter? So I think the same thing, growing my business. I have my hands in a few different businesses that I'm trying to grow. So all those concepts coming to light, growing my presence on the podcast and my book, staying focused in the vision, not getting distracted, not feeling like I'm not doing enough. It's going to come in time. Nothing happens overnight.
Mm-hmm.
So to stay consistent, like you talked about earlier, is that consistency really is key with anything. Fitness, business, discipline with kids, discipline within ourselves, prioritizing ourselves. I think that's huge. How can people get in contact with you? If they want to talk to you about Russellville Connections and they want to meet you or talk to you.
70. I've got my website. When I came here to Arkansas, there was no Best Version Media publications in the state of Arkansas. You know, our company has a huge footprint across the United States, but weren't on the map in Arkansas. I've created that with the Russellville Connection.
Yes.
We had another magazine launch up in Fort Smith. We have one in the works in Conway right now, Jonesboro, Little Rocks. I'm recruiting. We are growing. So I am trying to get as many community publications in this state as I can.
Two things that I love that you guys do. The Kids Corner is awesome. I've seen like one kid, I can't remember his name, but he was doing taste testing, like the chef of the day or
That was
something
actually
like
my
that.
kid.
Was it really?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
well, that was pretty cool.
Yes.
You've also featured my son in there for his basketball, but then also how you highlight families that are doing business across the state and in even this area. I think for the Russellville Connections, it's just people in our surrounding area,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
So that's one of my favorite things to watch. I mean, I know you've had a lot of different families on there and they highlight a lot of the good things that are going on in the community kid-wise, but also family-wise and for business.
That's the focus. That's the whole idea is growing local businesses while connecting us as neighbors.
Yes, that's awesome.
That doesn't happen.
Right.
So
that's where the friendships come in. Friendships, networking. So if you are interested in talking about Russellville Connections, please reach out to Kalina Perez. Find her on Facebook. If you cannot find her, reach out to me and I'll direct you to her. I just want to say thank you for spending time with me today. For more strategies, if this resonated with you at all, you can grab my book, The Sisterhood of Success, The Heart and Hustle of Women Entrepreneurs. You can follow me on social media. You can find us at TeagleConsulting.biz and our YouTube channel as well. If you're ready for coaching and you're looking for a speaker to inspire your team, your business, fill out that contact us section and we'll get back with you. Until next time, keep leading with your heart and hustling with purpose.